Hey guys, welcome to the 35th C programming tutorial, and in this tutorial we're going to be taking an in-depth look at the character variable. So let's just go ahead right here and create a character variable called C, and we'll set it equal to the capital letter A. Alright, so in memory everything is stored as a number, so that means that even characters are stored as numbers. So every single character corresponds to some number. So let's just say that we wanted to see what number capital A corresponds to. So let's just go ahead right here and print out the value that is stored inside of this character variable called C as an integer. So we're just going to say %i, and then we're going to print our character variable called C out as an integer. So we're just going to say right here %i, since we want to print it out as an integer or as a number, and then we're just going to do our character variable right here. Alright, so let's just go ahead and run this and see what we get. 65. Alright, so that means that A corresponds to this number 65. So in memory, where our character variable C is stored, a 65 is stored there, which represents the capital A. So let's just go ahead and change this to a capital B and see what number capital B corresponds to. 66. Alright, and if we were to make this C, we should get 67. Alright, perfect. And a capital A is not the exact same thing as a lowercase a, so if we were to change this to a lowercase a right here, we won't get 65, we'll get a different number. We get 97. But they do go in order, so if I was to change this to a B, we should get 98. And if I were to change this to a C again, we should get a 99. Alright, perfect. And every character that we use corresponds to some number, so that even means that the /n character corresponds to some number. So let's just go ahead and see what number it corresponds to. 10. And /t for a tab corresponds to 9. And even the null terminating character /0 corresponds to some number. And as you can see, the /0 character, or the null terminating character, corresponds to 0. So after every single string in memory, there is just a character variable whose value is 0. Alright, so basically all that a character variable is a number. So what we could do right here is, let me just change this back to a capital A, is change this to a C and say C plus 1. So basically what we're going to be doing right here is we're creating a character variable called C, and we're setting it equal to capital A. Then what it's going to do right here is say the value stored in C, which is 65, since A corresponds to 65, so it's saying 65 plus 1 as a character. And 65 plus 1 is 66, so what letter does 66 correspond to? Let's find out. B. And if we were to change this to C plus 2, we should get C out onto the screen. Since capital A corresponds to 65, 65 plus 2 is 67, and 67 corresponds to the capital C. Alright, perfect. Also, what we could do right here is instead of setting C equal to capital A, we could just go ahead and set C equal to 65 and then print C out onto the screen, and we should get a capital A, since 65 corresponds to a capital A. Yep, perfect. Alright, and one last thing that I just want to tell you. Remember when we were looking at the size of variables and I said that each character represents 1 byte of memory, or it only takes 1 byte of memory to store a character variable. And the maximum value that a byte can store is 255. Therefore, there are 256 different characters that the character variable can hold. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this tutorial, so see you guys.